Alright, so today we're taking a look at the iPhone 16e in the black and white color. It's the only colors that are available for the 16e. If you want more color, you're basically going to have to just get a case on one of these devices. But here is your kind of first look here at the white and the black one. We've basically gone back in time to when Apple used to kind of release only black and white phones. And it's very similar to those times. I mean, here we have an older iPhone 6s, I believe, in the gold color. And look at that one camera lens, the flash right there, very similar design. Of course, we used to have the Apple logo here at the top. You can see very simple design, very nice and minimal. I like this a lot more than the current 3 or 2 camera design that we have with the iPhone 16. And then here's the 16 Pro. This is just so convoluted. It just looks so ugly in the back to me. This just looks so simple, so minimal, so pleasing. And it's also very nice to hold because you don't often end up bumping into the lens at all or smudging it or anything. And if you just have to clean it, you just got to clean one lens, not 3 lenses. So that's really nice. I really do like the design of this. And then on top of that, this phone size is more akin to here the 16 Pro. It's like the exact same size as the 16 Pro, which I think is basically the perfect size for a phone. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's really nice, and everything is kind of a perfect size for it being legible and stuff, especially if you zoom in the screen more. It's going to be nice if you're kind of older and you have bad eyesight or something. It's a nice screen to enlarge all the elements and get that good view of everything. I think the older phones with that screen, even though they were nice to hold and everything, it's a lot harder to see all of the elements on the phone. So if you're coming from a really old phone, I definitely think this is a really nice upgrade. And even though that it is bigger, I think it is going to be worth it. Now again, here we have 2 colors, and the main differences here that you're going to notice are that the black is going to have a black bezel around the front, while the silver is going to have a silver bezel around the front, or the white, I mean, is going to have a silver bezel. And you can kind of see them there. It's going to be a pretty big thing when you're watching content or media and stuff like that, because you're always going to see the silver around there. So if that annoys you, I think you've made your choice. Now, if you do put a case on it, it is going to hide the silver side. So if you just want that white showing through in the cases, then you're gonna like this, because most cases out there are going to hide the silver, and then you're just gonna get the white popping through the cases. So if you want that to match it with cases and everything, then you don't really have to worry about that silver showing through, of course. Now, talking about cases, this is a case from ESR, which is our sponsor for today's video. So let's go ahead and get a quick word in from them. So here we have ESR's Halo Lock Geo wallet stand and classic magnetic wallet stand. The classic can fit up to 5 cards with one clear section for your ID. And all cards are easy to get out of the wallet because it has a little cutout at the bottom so that you can push them out and put them back in without a problem. Now, the Geo wallet won't hold as many cards, but it does work with Apple Find My. So you'll get notifications if you leave your wallet behind, and you can also ping it and make it sound. And this sounds much louder than an AirTag. You also get a little finger loop in the back so that you can hold your phone more securely. Both wallet stands have insane magnets that are going to attach to your MagSafe phone or case very easily, and it's crazy how much you can shake these and they just will not fall off the phones at all. They're 2 times as strong as Apple's offerings, and when you pair it with ESR's Halo Lock cases, they can be up to 4 times as strong. They also both have adjustable stands that can allow you to prop up your phone in horizontal or vertical mode so that you can watch some videos while you're eating some breakfast or even FaceTiming. They're the perfect MagSafe accessory, so make sure to check these out from ESR down below in the description. And again, thanks to ESR for sponsoring this video. Now, if you're a clean freak like me a little bit, you might be wondering about smudges. Of course, I think this one might be self-explanatory a little bit. The white one is basically not going to show anything ever. It's always going to basically look practically clean at all times. If you can see here, I can smudge this as much as you want, and you're never going to really see anything anywhere on the phone. It's really hard to tell on camera, especially because the way it reflects is so interesting. So it just looks a little bit too bright on camera, but it basically just looks like a frosted white back that is always clean. The black one, on the other hand, you are going to get smudges, especially the more oily your hands are. My hands are pretty dry right now, but you can kind of see there. You begin to get those smudges right there. And if you care about that, that is going to be a thing. You can always put a skin on this or something and make it all matte black or something. But worth noting, that's how it's going to kind of look. And of course, if your hands are really, really oily, it might look a little gross with time. But easy to clean, just wipe it, and it's always just going to come back to normal. Now let's talk a little bit here about the sides. If you are going to go with this phone and not going to put a case on it, then these sides are definitely going to chip. This is aluminum, which is very, very delicate, unlike the titanium on the 15 or 16 Pro right here, or the stainless steel on the 15 Pros. I think we have one here. Yes, we do, right here. These two materials right here withstand so much. It's crazy how often I will like hit things with them and everything, and they will not scratch and nothing will happen to them. These will indeed chip right here because of the aluminum. It is fairly thin aluminum, and so you will see marks. The black one is going to show much more marks, in my opinion, than the white one. And it really just depends if you're okay with that. I personally here would go with the white one just because the smudges as well as that, like I prefer dents and scratches on silver than I do on black. Black just tends to chip in a way that I don't really like because it looks like paint and it is basically kind of painted. I mean, in comparison to the straight up here silver that you see here on the aluminum right here. But a closer look right there and you can kind of see these phones are treated very nicely. Everything is color matched right here at the bottom, which is really nice to see, especially on these budget quote unquote phones. I mean, at $600 for 128 gigabytes, I don't know if you can call this budget. We of course have the action buttons here on both sides. I've configured this to be the magnifier on both of these, but you can configure it to be basically anything. You just hold it, open it, and it'll help you read small text and stuff like that. So you can click capture and then manage this, move it around, and read text from a menu and stuff like that. And I think that's fantastic. I usually use it just for the flashlight. Now, of course, one of the big talking points here is we still don't have a 120 hertz display on these. So things are gonna look not as smooth as some of the flagship models. Personally, I never really cared that much to push that because I think most people don't notice. Yes, for this price nowadays, it should be expected for it to come, but again, it's not make or break. I don't think anybody really in the large scale of people that exist out there are going like, you know what, I noticed the blurriness when I'm scrolling through web pages and stuff like that. That's just simply not happening. But it's worth noting, you're not getting like a ProMotion display like you get with the flagship models from Apple. So when you scroll through things, if you really pay attention and you're eagle-eyed, you'll notice that there's some blurring in things. And it's more evident when you really compare it side by side. But honestly, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. The cool thing is that these are getting all the SOS features like crash detection and satellite. I really, really do like that. On top of the fact that you're gonna get all the Apple Intelligence updates over the coming years. But even here, as we use them, you can kind of see that silver border versus the black border. I do tend to find that black border just being more immersive. It also makes the phone look a little bit more sleek and less large in the hand, if that makes sense. I don't know if you can kind of tell there. It just looks kind of nicer in the hand, but I do like that little contrast between the silver and the screen. Hopefully that just kind of shows you, gives you an idea a little bit. If you're kind of deciding between these two colors, look at them right there. You can see the antenna bands on the black are less noticeable as well. And we do have USB-C on both of these devices. So if you have lightning cables, then those are going to the donation bin because they will not work with this at all. Now, if you're still unsure if you should get this or you should go for a used iPhone 15 or maybe like a used iPhone 16, especially with versus the 15, with the 15, you are gonna get MagSafe, you're gonna get ultra wideband and dynamic island. So features that you don't get on this. However, on this one right here, you're still going to get the upgraded chip on these. So you have the A18 chip with more CPU speed and RAM on these than on the older models, which is really nice. So gaming on this is going to be better than the older models, just overall using and performance of the phone, recording videos, editing videos, things like that. Things are just going to be a little bit more fluid. And I have noticed it. I compared it to an iPhone 15 and this just processes the photos quicker, processes the videos quicker. Things feel a little bit more snappy going around the OS. So I definitely wouldn't just like go out and say, don't get this, go get used phone of the other ones, especially when like all the carrier deals are going to be for this new phone for the trade-ins and everything. I think you're going to be able to get this for a really decent price. So if you're on the fence, I say just get this phone. It's new. It's going to be updated for longer. It's going to be supported by Apple for longer. At least I can hope, and we would make the bet that it would be, but given that they're pushing the Apple Intelligence features, I believe that it will be. I also really like the plain design. I think it just looks nice. It's bare bones. It's simple, straight to the point. I think the base storage that it has at 128 gigabytes is enough for the average person out there. So overall, I think it's a pretty solid phone, and I really couldn't make the case for like just someone that needs a phone, a smartphone. I wouldn't recommend a Pro or a more expensive 16 or anything, because you don't need any of that. And if you save some money, even if it is 200 bucks, then that's 200 bucks that's in your pocket that you can use for rent, that you can use for food, that you can use for a lot of other things, while you still are getting the same functionality. You can still take really good pictures, you can still browse the internet, you can still make TikTok content, you can still edit all these things. Lightweight, the battery's gonna last longer than a lot of the most recent phones. I believe it's even gonna last longer than my 16 Pro if I'm not mistaken, but it's up there for sure. So keep that in mind. This is a fantastic little phone. It's gonna do everything you need it to do. No, it doesn't have MagSafe. I would say that's the only thing that you just got to remember. You just got to get a case with MagSafe. Definitely don't get a case without it. I would not do that. But I also love that it has the action button. I actually think that the action button on here is more important for me than MagSafe, because I can always get a case, but you can't get something that adds that functionality of the action button. And I think that's just a fantastic little functionality to have, to set a little button to that just makes it easy to open an app or a thing that you need, like Shazam, this, a flashlight. Overall, fantastic little phone. And 2 color options makes it very simple. Do you want black or white? Personally, I do think I would just go ahead and buy the white one. It just looks nice and simple, clean, minimal. And I would love to pair this with a maybe vibrant blue case. You know, even a pink case would look really good with this. The black goes with a lot of cases as well, but historically, when I've made all the videos and everything, I've always said that the white just goes with a lot more cases. There's some colors that look very dull with the black and that just don't give it contrast. In that case, it is a matter of personal preference, but it is pretty simple. Unlike the 16 or the 15 where you have to choose between 5 different colors, this is just, do you want black or do you want a white phone? It's that simple. Do you want to stand out in the crowd, which would be this one? This one definitely is more noticeable if you're like using it out and about. Even in a case, you're going to see the white shining through. If you just get the black one, you can definitely hide it. No one's going to say anything. No one's going to even notice your phone really or pay attention to it. And if that's what you want, then of course you know what you want. But again, you can kind of see those fingerprints there. So I don't know if you care about that, but that is the iPhone 16e. Personally, I think it's a nice little solid choice for a phone. And at the end of the day, it's far easier to just criticize and compare this to budget Android devices on specs and everything than it is to understand how people actually function out in the real world, that people walk into stores and ask what the cheapest iPhone is, that people walk into stores and look at what the cheapest trade-in deals are. It's very easy to ignore all this and be like, oh, just get a used 15 Pro or just get used this, blah, 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 blah. It's unfortunately not how it works. It's very easy to dismiss so many use cases, so many people out there. Overall, 600 bucks. Yes, on a spec sheet, it's not the best phone out there, but using it, having it in the hands, actually trying this out, it's a great little phone. And if I paid 600 bucks for this, I would not regret it. I would enjoy it, and it's just a fantastic little phone. If you want an iPhone, it's great. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Goodbye.